Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay, guys, you let me know what's main method. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible properly, everyone? Am I audible? And is my screen visible? Good evening, Vishaka. Good evening. Yes, Rashmi will solve it today. Don't worry. Hi, good evening, everyone. Visible? Great. Amazing. So I saw a lot of votes for the quiz application on the community. So around 70% plus votes was only for quiz application. So we'll create that for today, and we'll also try to finish it by today only. Okay. So this is the first project that we're going to do, and I'm excited for that. And I hope you people are excited for that too, right? Excited for the quiz application logic. Okay, Mohammed. So, not a problem. I also post every assignment as an article on the community, so you can also see that. So even if you don't get the email, I also post the questions on the community as an article. You can just go to my profile, you can see the questions. I also posted the questions there yesterday. Sangeet, what is the problem? Okay, the main method is nothing, it's the first function that is called. So the JRE, the execution controls, only comes to the main method, and it only executes the things that are available in the main method, nothing else. So main method is basically the entry point of your program. It is the only function that is executed, and everything inside it get called. Yes, totally fine, Parth, not a problem. Not a problem, Parth. I'll see, Tosif. I'll see if there is some problem. I actually thought that it will be live today. I'll see. Don't worry. I'll see what is the problem. Don't worry. Yes, Asrita, that's right. How memory takes for object? How object takes memory when you do this new operator. By default, objects don't take memory. Not a problem, Akash. You can do it. Oh, you noticed it. Don't worry, Raj. We'll cover it. We'll get the energy soon. Don't worry. Rashmi, you can just go to my article. I have uploaded. I have actually posted an article with the link to download JDK, and it is my drive's link, so you'll just get it. So not a problem. Karthik, I'll show you today. Don't worry. Actually, you have to set up few things. So then we'll. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, Saista. Thank you. We have what? We have to take number input from user, or we have to declare it in code. So in day 4, question 2. In the second question, you can directly initialize the numbers, but in the third question, you have to take input from user. Akshara, in the second question, you have to take directly initialize the numbers, but in the third question, you have to take input from the user. Yes, there will be assignment today. You have to also create the complete quiz application. Okay. Should we start then? Should we start creating the assignment? And I'll also share the application code. Don't worry about it. I'll zip it and they can use their inputs in both. That's totally fine, Venkat. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Totally fine if you have to input from user. Not a problem. Not a problem. That's totally fine. Okay. Should we start with the assignment? Should we start with the actual application that we are going to create today? I took user input. That's totally fine if you took user input. Not a problem. Don't worry. Yes, Akash, you can submit. No, I haven't uploaded it. No, not right now, Amrita. You can just directly do it in one package right now. Not a problem at all. Okay. So should we start with the application? It's totally fun. And I am a little low on energy today because of the environment. I'm just not feeling completely well today. So it's fine. Just cooperate with me and we'll be creating the best application. Fine, let's do it. Yes, actually there was a problem. So we'll see what is the problem actually. So Srinivas, don't worry. I'll just ask the people what is the problem in uploading the video. I'll just see, there might be some technical issue. Thank you, Saista. Okay, let's start. Fine. So I'm going to create a completely new project. So let's do it. So file, again, new project. It's working a little slow. Yes, you can do it. So let's select Java again. Next. Again, select the box because we are creating a command line app and not a GUI app. Next. Let's name it quiz application. And let's not name it com.employee. Let's just name it com.quizapp. So actually, let's make it quiz application. Fine. Finish. Let it be created in 2 minutes. Okay. So wait, make it mark. Do it. I'm just creating the project. Don't worry. Okay, in the same window. Don't worry, I'm just creating the project. I think you can see this file. So this is the important code that you have to see. That was just the creation of project that I already show you how to do it. Right? So just create a new project in your IntelliJ or anywhere, not a problem at all, whatever you're using. I think you can see this code, right? I hope everyone can see this code. Is this code visible? That was just the process of creating the project. And I think in the second video or in the first video, I have shown you how to create a project with the zoomed screen. So you can just watch it there again. So not a problem. In VS Code, there's no option of like creating a new project like this. You have to just create a folder and then you can use it in VS Code. There is no option like IntelliJ is specially made for Java. VS Code is made for everything. So there is no option for creating a project. You can just create a folder and then open it with VS Code and then start writing a code. That will be also fine. Okay, should we start? Let's go. So I'll just name it quiz application here. Okay, fine. So today we are going to work with a lot of classes. So let's start. So let's first decide the components of the quiz application, right? Let's first decide the components of the quiz application. So basically, when are we creating a quiz application, the first thing that we need is questions, right? So the first object or the first entity that is important in a quiz application is basically a question. And the second entity that is important in a quiz application is the player. So these are the two entities that are important. And then there also like there will be a one entity where both come together and play the game. So basically there will be three entities: questions, the player, and basically the playground there the player will play the quiz. Sir, why does it take time to run? It takes time because it depends on the PC, right? It depends on the PC. It depends on the load on your PC actually. So it takes a little time to compile my PC. It's not the case everywhere. Today's agenda is creating the whole application, Modu. So I was basically finalizing the entities that we are going to need today. So I just told you that we need questions, we need the player, and we need the playground where the player will play the quiz. And finally, we'll call everything inside the main method, right? Karthik, don't worry, don't worry. There will be a video live. I think that might like due to some technical issue, it was not uploaded. Maybe it will be uploaded in some time. So don't worry, Karthik. You can just do the assignments and keep it to yourself. Don't worry. We'll take it. Don't worry. Fine. So I was just saying that these are the three things that are required in our application. So whenever you're creating an application, you always have to finalize the entities first. Like you have to see what are the basic entities or the basic objects that you need to create a particular application. Like it can be changed in future, but at least there might be some platform on which you're like creating the application, right? Some base. So this is our base. We need questions, we need a player, and we need a playground. So these are basically the three entities that are required. And for all these three entities, I'm going to create a class. So there will be a class for question, there will be a class for player, and there will be a class for playground where the player will play the quiz. Is it clear? Are we clear with this, everyone? Are we clear with this? Should we start? Are we clear with this? Fine. So we need three things. Yeah, let's start. So let's go and create a first class that we need inside the same package first. So right click, new Java class, and I'll name this class as question. Create a class. So basically this class will hold the question, right? So basically when I say a question is an object, and the question object will come from this class. Remember this thing, class is nothing but a blueprint, and object is the actual thing that works. So all the questions that I have will be objects, and this is basically the blueprint of the question. So if I say I have 20 questions, all the 20 questions will be object of this class, will follow the rules from this class. Are we getting clear? We learned object-oriented programming, right? We create a class and then we can create multiple objects, right? We create a class and then we can create multiple objects. So this is the class which will hold the blueprint of the question. Yes, there is a little bit of problem, Akash. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So are you getting cleared with this? Are we getting cleared with this, everyone? So this question is a class which will hold what a question does, all the functions and all the properties of the question. And let's say if I need 20 questions, I'll create 20 objects. If I need 50 questions, I'll create 50 objects. Are you getting my point, everyone? What is the problem, Harsha? Where are you confused? Where are you getting confused? Right? We learned yesterday, right? We created an employee class which was holding all the features of an employee. And then we created two employees, right? Both have their different properties, but coming from the same class because they are following the same class, the same thing, right? So let's start. So now what properties my question will have? Let's see what properties my question will have. So first, it will have a string question. It can be anything, right? Then it will have 4 options, and like all the 4 will be string. So again, I can just do like this. If the data type of all the variables are same, I can just define it in one line, not a problem at all. So I can just write option 1, option 2, option 3, and let's say option 4. So this is the properties of a question, right? It has one question. Yes, exactly, Sagar, exactly. Classes are nothing but prototypes of an object. They basically show what the object will do, what are the properties of the object. So objects are real time. Class is just a blueprint. It's just a concept of how the object will work. Okay, let's start. So just make it public, Sangeet, not a problem. So option 4, and then finally we'll have an answer, right? Finally we'll have an answer. Just make it public, Sangeet. It's totally fine. Sometimes it happens. Just make it public with you, like by yourself, not a problem at all. So this variable will store the answer number. So I have like a question string where the question will be stored, and option 1 where the first option, for the second option, for the third option, for the fourth option, and then there is an answer variable, that is integer, that will just store which option is correct, first, second, third, or fourth. Are we getting cleared with this? Everyone, are we getting cleared with this? Are we getting cleared with this, everyone? So my question will have one question and 4 options and an answer variable where we are going to store the answer. Yes, questions will be object of the question class, Taista. Yes, yes, exactly. Fine. And now, basically, this class will also have a function. So public void ask question. So this will basically ask the question. Are we getting clear with this? Are we getting clear with this? Are we getting clear with this, everyone? Right? And basically the asking of question will be very simple. It will be just printing everything and asking a user for the input. Is it clear? So like which question number is correct? So let's do it. So we'll need a scanner class to take input from user. So import java.util.scanner for the input from user, like which option is correct. And now in here, I'll just print everything. So system.out. Okay, let's do it. SOUT. Fine. So let's print the question. So first I'll print the question, and then I'll print all the options one by one. So I'll just write number 1 first, like 1 space plus option 1. Yes, Sangeet, please ask. Then the second option 2, just give a little space, and option number 2, and then simply put 3. This like 1, 2, 3 are just nothing. It's just a numbering of the answer so that user can understand, okay, fine, it is the first option, it is the second option, it is the third option. No, I didn't create the class from SRC, Sangeet. Yeah, I think that is your problem. You have to right click on the package and create the class, Sangeet. You have to right click on the package. And then you can just go on and write option 3. And finally, you can just move on to option 4. Yes, Sagar. Let's see what we'll do. Let's see what we'll do. Don't worry. No, we'll define the questions. Don't worry. We are going to define the questions. We are going to define all the questions. Let's try to do first. We are going to define all the questions. Don't worry. Yes, those are the numbering options. And then finally, we are going to ask the user about the answer. So we can just, so we have the answer variable, right? So we have the answer variable. So answer equals to sc dot next int. And that's simple. Okay, I think we have our, okay, we didn't create the object. So let's create the object of scanner. Scanner sc equals new of, I think this is like all familiar to you people. Should be the question, this dot question. In here, it is not required to be this dot question. In Java, you can directly access your variables. That's not a problem at all. Fine. So system dot in. In Java, you can directly access your class variables. Yes, at the very start, Ashrita, yes. If you create the project, you will see there it asks for the package name. Even if your package name is not same as mine, it's totally fine. Whatever is the package name right now, it doesn't matter. It's totally fine. Yes, I'll make it 4. Yes, I'll just forgot. Fine. And put a semicolon. And that's all. So this was the ask question method. This will be a console-based project, Saista, because we are learning console-based right now. So this will be just a console-based question. Is it clear? And one thing that we forgot to store was what is the correct answer, right? So there will be 2 variables actually, user answer and correct answer. So like we also have to store what is the correct answer by default. So if we are having 4 options, we also have to like store in the question what is the correct action, correct answer, so that we can compare when the user gives the answer, right? So like first we should know what is the correct answer. So when the user gives the answer, we have to compare it with that. So we'll also have a variable correct answer, and let's say we also have a variable user answer, right? And in here we're going to take the user answer, something like this. Are we cleared, everyone? Are we cleared, everyone? Is it clear till now? This question class is cleared. So the question class is basically the blueprint of the question object. So now if I create one question object, that question object will have one question, 4 options, one correct answer, and one user answer. Are we cleared, everyone? Mansi sc.nextInt is basically to take user input from, take an integer user input from user. So it takes an integer input, right? So sc is basically an object of scanner class which helps you to take input from user. And when you call nextInt, it helps you to take integer input from user. That's all. That's all what sc is. No, right now, AK, we are not giving timer, because if we apply all of that, it will take a lot of time. So right now, we're just trying to create a complete quiz application. Then we'll see if we can enhance it by adding timers and everything. So don't worry about it. Right now, we are not integrating timers and all. So let's first try to complete it in a very basic sense, right? And let's say this is not only ask question. Let's say this also checks the answer. Right? Let's say it also checks the answer. Okay, fine. We'll see. Like let's do it. Let's first create the. Okay, fine. Okay, now let's create the player class. Right. So right click, new, Java class, player. Right. Like there are I'm also creating this dynamically. I have not stored it anywhere. So I'll be actually guessing and doing it. So you have to just follow me. This is how you create projects. When you start creating, you get some ideas in between. So let's see how we can complete it. It's totally dynamic, right? So now my player will have, first my player will have a name, right? First my player will have a name, and then it will also have a score, an integer score. That is just for output, buddy. So if I don't put space between this, then it will just one dot and the option. So this space is just for decoration. Sangeet, this space is just for decoration. That's all. The space is just for decoration, so that I can see one dot and then a little space and then the option. So that's for decoration. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing else. Truly. Fine. Can we move ahead now? So we are creating the player. So my player will have a name and a score, right? And now it will also have a function, public void get details. So to get the details of the player at very start, so basically a name, so that in the end we can specify the name, right? So get details, and we'll just take the name. Score will be 0 by default. Score will be 0 by default. Remember this, score will be 0 by default. Now we just have to take name. So again, we'll need a scanner object. So again, we have to import the package. So import java.util.star. Sorry, not star. We just need one class. So we don't need all of the classes. I'm not writing star again. Yes, Arjun. Yes, we can make, but right now we're just learning Java, right? But yes, you can make it in Android Studio, not a problem. You can write Java there, so it's totally fine. Let's move ahead. Let's just take the name input from user. So again, SOUT. Enter player name, and inside name sc dot. Okay, I didn't create the object again. So let's create the scanner object first. Scanner sc equals to new of scanner system.in. Okay, okay, that's fine now. System.in. Inside here, I can just do sc dot. The next is a secret right now. You'll be surprised when you listen at what I'm going to create. So it's a little secret. Let's first complete this, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Yes, because we're going to call that function. That's why it's public. We're going to call that function outside this class. That's why it's public. Yes, we are going to, this is the first project. Yes, the first project that we're going to complete today. Yes. Are we clear with this? So now we have a player class ready, which has a name and score. And basically it will take the player name, right? Have a function to take player name. And at the end, I just have this thing. Yes, if you create the intelligence of IntelliJ, will directly import it. But I just like to import it so that I'm sure I have imported it. By default, it will be default Asritha. By default, it will be default. Asritha, you can do one thing for this, like all these basics that we have covered in the first and second video. You can just watch it and then you can like understand what are the all the things that I'm explaining right now. Yes, next is for string only. Yes, Amit. Asritha, please watch first and second video. All your doubts will be cleared about public and like what are the by default access modifiers. Yes, I'll explain you data object. Now let's focus on this. So are we cleared up till now, everyone? Are we cleared up till now? Have you understood the question class and the player class? Okay, everyone? Cool. Now let's go on and create new the game class, right? The game. So this is the game class. Because I just want to take a single word of name, just like a username. So I don't want to take a whole line. That's why I have not used next line. But if you want, you can use it. That's not a problem, Surya Prakash. I just want a single name like Saurabh or Prasad, something like that. That's fine. So now let's create the game class here. And inside game class, I'm going to call everything. So let's create public void play, right? So a function play. Is it clear till now? Are we clear till now, everyone? Now inside this class, first we're going to create the question object. So basically now we need, let's say we need 5 questions, right? So let's say we need 5 questions. So in that case, I have to create 5 question objects, right? So we need 5 questions. So basically we also need 5 question objects. But yesterday we learned if we want 5 things of the same type, instead of creating them again and again, I can just create an array. Remember last lecture? So if I need 5 things of the same type, instead of creating them again and again, I can just create an array so that I can use it like with loop and everything, right? So we'll also have a function of public void init game. So basically this will settle up all the things for my game. So I have a function init game. I'll explain what this function will do. Don't worry about it. This will just basically, so I have 2 functions, like the blueprint is ready. Now let's create an array for our questions object because we are going to have 5 questions. Let's say we have 5 questions for now. So let's create an array of questions. So now I need question. So question is an array, that's why this. And then I have questions equals new of question. And I'm going to have 5 questions, that's why 5. Are we clear with this, everyone? Are we clear with this? Perfect. So now inside my init game method, I'll apply my first loop to create the objects, right? So as I know, this questions is just an array. It doesn't hold any of the objects because we have not created any object right now. This is just an array of type questions which will hold multiple questions object. But actually right now, that array is empty. We need the objects to fill. Remember last lecture? So now we have to create object for each of the index of this question, right? Because this is just an array, and to create an object, you need new of question with parentheses with the constructor function. Because right now this questions is not an, this questions is just an array with blank objects. They don't know what kind of object they are. So now let's apply a for loop exactly like yesterday. Integer I equals 0. I is less because the array index starts from 0. I is less than 5 because it will go till 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I plus plus. Right? Now what I can do, I can just write questions I equals new of, is exactly new of question, and that's right. So this loop will run 5 times, and after 5 times, question of 1 will be an object, question of 2 will be an object, question of 3 will be an object, question of 4, like that. Because I wanted 5 questions, right? So instead of creating 5 different objects, I just made an array so that I can use them with loop archive. If you're getting confused, please watch the last video. There I've explained why are we creating arrays. I declared it, right? This is the place I declared the variable. I can also declare Sabrish, I can also declare variables directly inside the loop. Yes, init game exists like a function that I have named to create objects and functions, like to create the basics to make the questions ready for the game. So init game is just a function that I have created by my mind just to settle up all the questions and the player and everything. Viju, I'm definitely going to tell you how many days it will be for, but let's focus right now on the game because it is something very important that we're creating, and this will help you to create a lot of applications in future. This is how the process goes. This is how you learn how to create applications. So is it understood till now? Now I know my object has been created, but my object has all the empty variables in it. Which object name should I change? Harpal Singh, which object name? This questions. This is the perfect naming conventions, right? This is an array. This is an array. So questions, right? It is a plural form of questions, right? So questions is an array. That's how you have to deal with it, right? You have to deal with it. Questions is an array of questions because it is going to have multiple questions. That's why it is questions. Are we getting cleared, everyone? Like employees, single thing will be known as employee, multiple employees. So questions is an array of multiple questions. Don't worry, Harpal Singh, just focus, it will be clear. Don't worry, just focus on it. That's what you have to do while you're programming. You just have to focus on each and every variable name. If the variable names are correct, everyone can understand it, right? Now, so at the inside the for loop, the first line will create the object, right? The first line will create the object. So at the first line, it will be like questions of 0. That means the first index will have a question object. And now, basically, questions of 0 is an object. Public void play is also a function that I have not written anything inside it right now. Sangeet, public void play is also a function. Public void play is also a function where I'm going to play the game. But right now, I have just made it empty because in future, I'm going to code inside it. Right now, I've just made it empty. Don't worry. It is also a function. Init game is also a function. Simple, right? Game is a class. Again, just think it like this. Game is a class. It has an init game function and a play function. Init game is basically to initialize all the things required for the quiz. And play is basically a function where I'm going to play the game. Right? So let's move ahead. So now at the first line, questions of 0 will become an object, and the second line, I'm going to settle up everything. So now I have to think of questions, right? So again, now remember this. So whenever you're creating an applications, your data might come from some database or some file or some external resource like from internet or something. But right now, no, Sagar, I cannot start from 1 because the index of array starts from 0. So if I start from 1 for this I, then I will start questions of 1. It will start from questions of 1. So questions of 0 will be blank. The index of array starts from 0, Sagar. That's why we have to start our I from 0. The index of array starts from 0. Remember this, Sagar. Now what I was saying is, when you're working on a real-time application, the data might come from a database or the data might come from internet or some external resource. But right now, we don't have any resource. So right now, we'll create our own data. Right now, we're going to create our own data, right? So we have to do it again. Or we can just, instead of writing it inside the loop, should I? Okay, let's first complete it, then I'll show what is the best method to do that. But let's say, by this for loop, Monica, I think this is simple, right? Did you Attend yesterday's lecture, Monica. At the end, I did the complete same thing. I created an employee class, right? I created an employee class and I created 5 employees by this logic. So this is basically an array, right? Which is going to store 5 question objects. And this is where I'm initializing the object. Remember, Monica, this is only creating the array. No, Sagar, whenever you want to work with an array like that there might be the case where you want to only start with 1. You're just ignoring the 0 index. That might be the case there, Sagar. But right now, the case is we have to start from 0. So it depends on cases. But in all of the programming languages, arrays always start from 0. There might be some case of using there. There might be some dependency or condition to use 1 there directly. Right? So by this, we have created 5 objects. Monica, if you just watched yesterday's lecture, you'll understand what I did. So this is basically an array, right? Which is going to hold 5 objects. Simple. But to create an object, you need this constructor function getting called with the new operator to allocate the memory. That's why for each and every index, I did new of question so that I can create an object for all of the indexes. Simple. Right? So now, in a normal way, let's do it. So now I have the 5 objects ready. Now, for all the 5 objects, I have to give questions and options and then correct answer. So let's do it now. So let's do it for the first one. So questions of 0. So by this loop, I created 5 objects. And now in here, applying values to the variables of the objects. Right now I'm going to define the questions and options. Simple. So now let's do it. Questions of 0 dot, see, you can see all of the things. So now let's create the question first. So let's do it. The question is, who is the, let's say, strongest Avenger? So this is the first question. Let's create the options now. Again, questions of 0. So I might have applied loop here, but right now, as you know, all of the questions will be different. So right now, I just have to write everything because the data is also defined by me. I'm not getting data from anywhere. So right now, I'm only defining the data. Yes, we can store, but right now I'm not showing you how to read a file and write the questions because it will be tough. So let's go step by step. Amit, let's go step by step because not everyone is going to understand how to take data from files. So right now, let's just go step by step. We are at the very basics. So let's see option 1, Iron Man. Four options. Question data type is string. It is string, buddy. Yes, we can make Amit Kumar, but that is a concept that I have not explained yet. So let's just go again. It might be a string, Saista. You can just take it as a string. Power is basically what? Lightning is the power, armor is the power, anything can be power. So let's, option 2, let's make it. Please guys, let me just create the questions very fast now. I hope you understood what I'm going to do. So let's, yes, there are 4 options. The last one is for the correct answer, Arjun. And then let's just say the correct answer is 2. Because the correct answer was integer, right? It was integer. So now this is the first question setup. We're done with the setup of the first question. Simple. Okay, fine. Let's, instead of Scarlet Witch, because she's not senior right now, let's take Dr. Strange. Now no more demands. Now let's work for the next question. right? So I'll just copy this whole thing. And now let's just make it 1. At the very end, I'm also gonna show you how to do this with loop so that you don't have to write it again and again. But right now, let's just do it. Let's just complete it now first. So again, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, let's only make 3 questions for now. Instead of 5, let's make 3 because it will be a little lengthy now. So let's make it 3. When we understand loops, we'll also make it for 5. Don't worry. So we only have 3 questions now. So the second question, let's do it. What is the closest planet to Sun? Right? So let's make it Earth, Venus, Mercury. No, I'll just make it. I just don't want to repeat the same question. That's why I just took 3 questions. And finally, let's take Jupiter. It actually looks good when you have all your data set up. Yeah, I have to change. Yeah, so got it. And the answer is 3. And just make it option number 3 and option number 4. Same option number 3 and option number 4. And the last question. What is the capital of Australia? Any guesses, everyone? Just tell me. Any guesses for this? Sydney. Don't search on the internet. Melbourne. Perth. Are you sure? It's not Sydney, not Melbourne, it's Canberra. I think it's Canberra. I don't know has it changed or not, but this is the thing. So now we are ready with the 3 questions, right? So all my question objects have the question, 4 options, and the correct answer with them, right? So that's totally fine. Now come here inside play. So now I have my question settled up. Is it understood till now? Is it understood till now, everyone? Please tell me. Is it understood till now, everyone? Oh, yeah, sorry. And tell me, is it understood? I'll just change the index till then. 2, 2, 4. Fine? Yep. Don't worry, he will give answer. Don't worry, don't worry. Now, we'll also need the player for the game, right? We don't only need the questions for the game. We also need the player for the game. So we also want to create the player objects here. So player equals new of player. See, the object name, I have done it in lowercase and the class name is it in uppercase. So it's a perfect naming convention for classes and objects. That's how you do it. Player, lowercase player is the object. Player equals to new player. Right? And now let's move ahead. Now let's do it one by one. I linked it, right? I used it. I directly used because they were in the same package. So inside the game class, there's nothing known as link, Sabrish. There's nothing known as link. You just use some other class and some other class. Okay, I'll give a whole summary. Don't worry. Let's just summarize it once. So my main is still empty. I have not called anything. I have 3 classes. The first is question class. Remember, it has properties like what? Question, 4 options, 1 correct answer and 1 user answer, and it has a function which we have not used yet. This is ask question. right? And we also have a player class which just has name and score. And there's a function which will just ask the player name. Are we clear with this? And now there's a game class which has an array of questions and a single player object. And inside the init game function, I created objects for the array and I initialized all the questions for the three objects that I created. Yes, I'll share the code. Don't worry, I'll share the code. I'll share the code. And I initialized all the questions. So I had three questions. Question of 0 was 1, questions of 1 was 1, and questions of 2 was 1. So I initialized all the questions and options and the correct answer for all the three questions. And then finally inside play, I'm going to do something. Is it understood, everyone? Is it understood, everyone? Is it understood, everyone? Are we clear with this? Okay, great. Yes, you can perform same thing using Notepad, not a problem, AK. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, when I start playing, the first thing I want to do is to take the player name. Amit Kumar, for the JS basics, there is a complete batch 2 JavaScript available on YouTube freely. You can just watch it once, Amit. It's completely freely available on YouTube. The batch 2 of JavaScript, where I have taught everything, like all the basics about JS. So don't worry, Amit. It is freely available on the YouTube. You can just watch it. So now inside the play method, so the first thing when a player comes to play is we ask the name for the player. Like, what is the name? So I have a function, right? I have a function named get details. So the first thing that I'll call while playing is player. I created the player object on the up, right? Here at first, I create the player object. So now what I'm going to do is player dot get details. Perfect. So this will take the player name for me. Have you understood this? Have you understood this, everyone? And now, once I take the player name, what I have to do is basically I have to display the questions to the player now. I have to start displaying questions to the player. Is it clear? Gopinathan, you can search it, it's thought, but let's not start the debate now. Let's move ahead. Fine, we'll also change it to Hulk in future. Don't worry. Let's do it. Fine. So now the second thing that we have to do is we have to call the ask question method for all the three questions that we created. Right? For all the three questions that we created. So again, we'll use the loop for integer I equals 0, I is less than 3, die plus plus. Let's ask the question. Simple. Questions of I dot. What we needed was the ask question method, and that's all. So where is function? It's in here player class, buddy. It's here in player class right there. See? Sabrish, it's here in player class. Fine, it's here in player class. So we created the player object and called get details. And now here's the loop. Did you see Vaishnavi? I just showed what is in the player class. It is just taking enter player name and we're just taking the name value. That's all. Are we clear till now, everyone? Mansi, what is your doubt? And inside the play function, I'm just calling player.getDetails. So when I call player.getDetails, what will happen? It will just ask me enter player name, and whatever I enter will be stored inside the name variable. And then what it will do, it will just apply a loop. It will start a loop and ask all the questions stored inside questions array. So questions of 0 will be asked, questions of 1 will be asked, questions of 2 will be asked. Like as in here, we stored all the questions, right? We stored the values of all the questions. So if I do questions of 0 dot ask question, just assume if we do questions of 0 dot ask question, what will happen? It will just print the question, print all the options, and take your input for the answer. That's all. Take your input for the answer. Are we getting clear till now, everyone? Are we getting clear till now? Is it clear till now? Mansi, I didn't get what you said out last line. But now we still have the biggest problem. So once the question is asked and once the player has answered the question, we are not checking if the question is right or not. We are not checking, right? We are not checking if the answer actually is right or not. Okay, Mansi, this is simple, right? I have applied a loop which is going from 0 to 2. So it is working like this. Questions of 0, like the first time the I will be 0. Okay, fine. Questions of 0. So for the first question, ask the question. Then again, the loop will once more get executed, and now the I value will be 1. So questions of 1 dot ask question. And then again, I will be incremented. Then questions of 2 dot ask question. And then again, I will be incremented, but now I will be 3 and the loop will be exited. Are we clear with this? Like these are all the things that we learned yesterday, Mansi. But I hope you're understanding this right now. Are we getting clear with this, everyone? Now, the main problem is, I hope, Mansi, you understood. I hope you understood. No, actually, Venkat, we don't need a method. Okay, let's just print it on your demand. Let's just print it. Please choose an option. Fine. Right? Totally fine. Simple. And now let's move ahead. Now the problem was we are getting the user answer, but we are not comparing it to the correct answer. And that's what we have to do. Now let's do it. If the user answer is equal to the correct answer, then we'll do something. That's all. Simple. If so, once we are asking the question, basically inside that only, the moment I give the answer, it will check if the user answer is equal to the correct answer. Getting my point? And once it is confirmed, like if it is equal to, I have to increase the score of the user. That's what I have to do. I have to increase the score. But now the problem is, I don't have the access of player object in here. The score variable is where? The score variable is inside the game class. So I cannot work with the score variable right here. This is the problem. I cannot access the score variable because the player object is present inside the game class and player has score. I cannot access score inside here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll just tell this ask question to return something now. Right now it was void. Remember the first lecture of functions? Right now this is void. That basically means this question, this ask question function is not returning anything. Remember this. This ask question function is not returning anything. But now I want this ask question function to return either true or false. So if the answer that the user has given is true, please return true so that I can get the output in game class. And if the answer is given is wrong, just return false. Simple. Yes, Venkat, we can do that get score thing, but then again we have to create the object here, right? If I want to access the player object here, I have to create the object. And if I have two objects for player, then they both are different players, right? Yes, exactly. So let's do it. So now what I'm going to say this function is, okay, you're not a void function. You're not returning anything now. You're going to return something from yourself. So you're going to return either true or false. So true or false are data, but they are of type Boolean. And you remember, whenever you want to return something from a function, you have to specify the return type while creating the function. So I'm just writing Boolean. Now this basically means this ask question function is going to return a Boolean value. Sangeet, what is your problem? You'll understand. Don't worry. Let me do it once. You'll understand. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll understand. Did you understand everything before the Boolean? Because the concept is yet not complete. So you'll understand. Don't worry. You'll understand it. I'm just explaining how to return. Yeah, you understand. Sabrish, because if the function definition has a void, that basically specifies that the function is not going to return anything. It will return blank. But now I have specified Boolean. That basically means I'm going to return a Boolean. That basically means either true or false from this function. So this is how you do it, Sabrish. See, this is how you do it. Now I can just say if the user answer is equal to the correct answer, please return true. Now what that means is wherever I will call this ask question, if everything is done properly and if user answer is equal to the correct answer, this function, wherever it has been called, it will give true. Yes, you can also do integer values 1 or 0. That's totally fine, Muhammad Ali. I'm just using true false because I only have two options. And when you have two options, you always use true or false instead of integers. Yes, you can do, like if you put integer, you can return 1 or 0. But I know that I only have two values. So instead of using 1 or 0, I just use true or false. That sounds more like conventional and good. Yes, you can use 0 and 1, Amit Kumar. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. You can use 1 and 0. Don't worry about it. You can use 1 and 0. But I only had two values. That's why I did true and false. Yes, Amit Kumar, like it's everywhere like this. But right now here I'm writing true. It will not give 1 or 0. It will give true and false. Yes, 0 means false everywhere. Like it depends on the case you're considering. You're considering 0 in numbers or you're considering 0 as a status value. If you're considering 0 as a status value, you can say 0 is false. But if you're considering 0 as a number, then 0 is 0. Getting my point? And at the end, I'll just write if that if block is not getting executed. Listen, if this if block is not getting executed, that basically means user answer is not equal to correct answer, right? So I can just say, okay, fine. If it comes out of this if block, just return false. Now remember one thing, wherever you write return, return is the end of function. Remember this thing, return is the end of function. So once return is executed inside a function, it will not go ahead. Remember this thing, return is always the end of function. Please just like remember this or mark this, return is always the end of the function, right? So now what will happen, let's say you ask the question, right? Let's just go step by step. Let's say you ask the question, this function is called, so I printed the question, I printed option number 1, I printed option number 2, I printed option number 3, then I printed option number 4, then I printed please choose an option, and then I got the input from user, and now in the next line I'm checking, check please if user answer is equal to the correct answer. Now if it is not correct, this will be false. I'm not going to go inside the block, I'll just go outside, and what is outside? Return false. That's all. End of the function. And wherever this function is being called, there will be a false value available. Now let's see it one more time. Again, we are calling the function, print everything, take user answer, and now let's see if user answer is equal to the correct answer. Now it will come inside the block, and now it will return true. And as I said, wherever return is called, that is the end of the function. So now it will not go ahead. It will not go outside there because it is a return. It will end the function. And now wherever the function has been called, it will give a true value. You can use, but there is no need of using it, right? You can use else, but there is no need of using it. Why should we like extend our code about 2 lines? Because return is the end. So if it is correct, we are ending the function. We are not moving ahead. So there is no need of else. If you want, you can use it. Not a problem at all. Are we clear with this, everyone? So I'm returning a Boolean value from the function. That's why I specified Boolean. Because whenever you're returning something from a function, you have to specify the type of the data that you're going to return. Akash, we can use else, but we are not using else because it's not needed. Because if the condition is true, the function has been ended. So there's no need of else. And if the condition is not true, we are anyway going outside and returning false. So even if it has else or not has, it doesn't matter. So why to use it? Even if it has an else, it will go inside else. Even if it doesn't have else, it will just go outside and return false. So it doesn't matter. Why to increase the lines of code? Getting my point? Are we clear with this, everyone? Don't worry, I'll explain how functions return today at the end by creating a very basic function. Don't worry about it, don't worry. So this is how the functions return. If I take an integer here, instead of Boolean, I have to return either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, any integer value. Now remember one thing, whenever you return something from a function, remember, whenever you return something from a function, so wherever you call that function, it is going to return a value. It is going to give you a value. So now here I'm calling the ask question function. So either it is going to give me true, emit true, or basically going to give you true or going to give you false. So now what you can do, you can just store it in a variable. You can just store it in a variable. So again, it is going to return a Boolean value. So it is basically giving me a Boolean value. To store a Boolean value, I need a Boolean variable again. So let's say Boolean status equals this. So whatever this particular function will return, either true or false, I'm going to store it inside a status variable. Yes, Akash, that's all that is left. It will return false, Vijay, it will return false. I just explained, like, if it is not correct, if the condition is not true, we'll go outside the if, and if we will just go outside the if, there is nothing but a return false. So if we go outside the if, it will just return false, that's all. So if the answer is not correct, it will return false because it is going outside the if. And if the answer is correct, it will come inside and return true, and end of the code. And now whenever as I said, whenever some functions return something, so wherever I'm calling that function, basically that place I'm going to get a value. That function is going to emit some value. Nobody, we cannot because the score variable is with player. The score is with player, right? And we have to increase the score continuously. So we're just checking. Now we'll see what is actually happening. But is it clear till now? So whatever this ask question function return, either true or false, I'm going to store it inside the status. Now, yes. No, Suryansh, we don't need status array. You'll see, don't worry. Now, I'll just check if status is equal to 2. And as I know, if status is true, now just see it now. If status is true, that basically means this ask question is returning true. And when the ask question returns true, that basically means the answer was correct. So if status comes true, that basically means the answer was correct because the function returned true. And function only returns true if the status is correct. So I'll just say, okay, fine. Player dot score plus equals to, or let's say plus, just increase it by 1. Just for now, increase it by 1. And that's all. Right now, I'm not doing the minus logic. So just leave it. That's all. And at the very end, after the loop, we'll just print fine. So first I'm going to print the player name. So the player name is player.name, a very basic string. Your score is player dot score, and that's done. Sambhavi, just go on the community and just there's if you search for Java, there will be a group available to you. Just click on follow. Yes, exactly, Ganesh. Wherever the return statement is called, that is the place where termination will happen. So if that return is executed, function is terminated. Actually, by default, function returns nothing. That's why we use void. If I write void, function returns nothing. I'll explain this return, don't worry, at the end today. We have a lot of time left, don't worry. I'll explain that return. I'll explain what return actually does. Don't worry. Just see it now, don't worry. Are we clear with this, everyone? Are we clear with this, everyone? Okay, we can do it, we can do it. We can just go on and write. If the answer is correct, we can just go on and write. Amazing. या फिर let's just play कौन करोड़पति. बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप. That's all. And let's say if the answer is wrong, we're not doing anything with the score, but let's say if the answer is wrong, माफ करना मैं आपकी सहायता नहीं कर सकता. Simple. So only just a message if the answer is wrong. That's all. Are we clear with this? Pushpa, the status is just used to like store whatever ask question function is returning. So as I know that ask question function will return either true or false. So whatever that function is returning after getting called, I'm storing it in the status variable. So that I can just check it like this. Simple. Is it clear, everyone? Should we execute this? Okay, we cannot execute it actually. We have to call all these functions, right? We have to call all these functions. Now let's do one thing. Let's call this init game function inside the class itself, inside the same class, inside the play function actually. So instead of calling that init game, okay, let's first call it there, then we'll move ahead. Okay, let's go to main now and let's create the game object. So game equals new of game. First, we are going to call the init game. So first, the game will be initialized, and after that, the game will be played, and that's all. Shitija, that is just if you have ever watched KBC, that's just a message like you have played very well. That in English translates to you have played very well. Yes, Jagdish, your chat is visible. So that's just a message. Okay, we'll do that, Muhammad Ali Ansari, we'll do that. Yes, so inside main method, remember one thing, your main method should always look clean and simple. That's all. Only the final thing should be inside the main method. That's all. Now let's do it. Should we execute this, everyone? Should we execute this and play the game now? And let's see if we don't have any errors. Right? Let's do it. If anyone is there who have not understood the returning of functions, I'm going to explain it again, not by the quiz, by a very simple example. Don't worry. I'm going to explain the returning of functions in a moment. Don't worry about it. I know that I have not explained it, but it was very easy to understand. So see, now I have the first enter player name. Let's do it. I'll just make it solve. Now I have the first question, right? I have the first question. Who is the strongest defender? As I know that I put option number 2, so I'll just put 2. See the message. बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप, right? And now the second question. What is the closest planet to Sun? I'm gonna give everything right for now. Then we'll also check for like wrong things again. Then now let's just do everything right. Number 3. Again, बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप. And what is the capital of Australia? Let's put 4. Enter. See now, बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप. And at the end, Saurabh, your score is 3. Are we clear with this, everyone? Are we clear with this, everyone? See, we just did step by step and we completed. Sabrish, what are you asking? What? What does it mean? What? Unda means well. I think that is well. I don't know. Unda means well. It's just a message, guys. We can just do it in English. That's totally fine. Unda basically means well. You have played well. बहुत ही उम्दा खेले आप means you have played well. Okay. Yes, I think yeah, that is a new word. I feel yeah. Now let's do one thing. I just seek ABC, and that's why I just used Amitabh Bachchan's word. That's totally fine. How to do the same in English? Just I think that's totally fine, right? You can just instead of writing बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप, you can just change this message to you have played well. I'll execute it again. Don't worry. I'll just execute it once again. That even I have to check, Nazir. I have to check. I'll share the code. Now let's check for the wrong answers again. Let's check for the wrong answers. We didn't check it for the wrong answers, right? Yes, I'm going to go through the code. Let's just check it for the wrong answers. I'm going to go through the code. Don't worry. Don't worry. Step by step. Now let's do it again. Now let's enter some other player name. So let's enter. Okay, let's enter the player name as I don't know, Joe. Fine. The player name is Joe now. Or let's say Jaws. So now who is the strongest Avenger? Let's say she says Thor. Now, which is the closest planet to Sun? Maybe she is wrong. So let's make it Venus. So now this is the wrong option. I will take Prasad, don't worry. When I create something very crazy, I'll take Prasad, don't worry. I'll take Prasad when I create something very crazy. So please choose an option. Okay, this is the wrong answer, right? I'm just taking 2. This is the wrong answer, remember. And again, now let's say she knows the answer. So fine, 4. And see now, the score is 2. Simple, because one answer was wrong. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Are we clear with this? Something went wrong where? Akash? I think it was right. Nothing went wrong, right? When I gave the wrong answer, see, I just got माफ करना मैं आपकी सहायता नहीं कर सकता. To stop it, there are ways, but right now we're not stopping it. To stop it, we just have to break the code. That's all. Akash Sawant, what is wrong? What went wrong? Can you please tell me? RES, are you talking about Android? First off, आप Android के बारे में बात कर रहे हो? I think you can just right click on that folder and create a folder, right? You just have a raw folder option, I think, in Android Studio. You can just show it if you want. It's totally fine. Because, right? I just didn't create the feature. Don't worry, Prachi. I just didn't create that feature. If you want, we can create that feature of showing the correct answer. If the answer is wrong, we can create that feature. Don't worry. If the answer is wrong, we can create a feature to show the answer. Shreyans, because we are working with, right now we're just learning core Java. So that's why we're not using GUI applications. In future, in advanced Java, we're definitely going to use GUI applications. Don't worry. When you're working with Java applications, they're definitely going to use GUI. Yes, Manasa, when you're working with advanced Java, we're definitely going to use GUI. Right now, we're just learning core Java. We're just learning the programming principles. Just show the first question on this. Now, can we like just recap once again? Should we recap it once again? Should we recap it once, everyone? If we create GUI, Arjun, then we have to also learn about the GUI, how to make GUI in Java. Okay, fine. I'll summarize it once. Don't worry, I'll summarize it once. Fine. So let's say we'll just go with the JRE. We'll just go with the JRE. Fine. Let's do it. We'll just go with the JRE. So what happens now? We call the game function. Let's just go with the GRE first, like how it is being executed. Then we'll also understand the code. So we'll understand it 2 times. So first, the game object is created, and then the game.init game function is called. Please see, the game.init game function is called. Now, what is happening inside init game? Let's see what is happening. So inside the init game, I'm going to create the 3 objects for the questions. I'm creating the 3 objects for the questions, right? First, I'm creating the 3 objects for the questions using the loop. And then for all the 3 questions, I'm setting the question, the 4 options, and the correct answer. For all the 3 questions, I'm setting the question, all the options, and the correct answer. Is it clear till now? So this is what is happening inside the init game function. Are we clear with this? I'm just creating the 3 objects and applying values to the 3 objects with the question, options, and the correct answer. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Fine. Is it clear with the? Are we clear with the init game function, everyone? Let's just go function by function. Are we clear with the init game function? Perfect. Now, after completion of init game function, the next function that is called is the play function. The next function that is called is the play function. Now, what play function is doing? Let's see. So, what is play function doing? Play function is first calling the get details. Play function is first calling the get details function. So, what is happening inside get details? It is just asking me, okay, fine, enter the player name and just get a name. So what play function is doing first? It is just calling get details that helps me to take the name from user. The first line of the output, remember, it helps me with taking the name of the user. Are we clear with this? Are we clear with this? Taking the name of the user. Are we clear? Understood the get details function inside the play function, everyone? Okay. Now moving ahead, what happens next? Fine. The next that is happening inside the play function is again the loop is called for all the 3 questions. Again the loop is called for Jagdish. I'm explaining something. Wait, I'll clear it out. Don't worry. I'm explaining something. Right. So now what happens? The loop is again executed, and now first the questions. Let's say I is 0 for the first time. So questions of 0.ask question is called. Questions of 0.ask questions is called. That means the first question is executed, right? So what happens now? Inside ask question, the question is printed. First option is printed. Second option is printed. Third is printed. Fourth is printed. And then please choose an option message is printed, right? And after that, I take the input from user, whatever the correct option is. So either now he can put 1, 2, 3, or 4. Anything from that 4 options, right? Anything from that 4 options. You can put 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, if he chooses the wrong answer, what happens? Please see. If he chooses the wrong answer, so this will become false, right? This will become false. User answer is not equal to correct answer. So I'll get outside. False is returned. And now false is returned. And this function returns false. And I again go inside game.java. And this function is right now returning false. So inside the status variable, false is stored. Now status has a false value. And now I'm just checking if status is true. And I know status is not true, it is false. So it will just print system.out.println. माफ करना, मैं आपकी सहायता नहीं कर सकता. That's all. And now again the loop will execute itself because the loop has not ended yet. Loop will execute itself, and now the value of I is 1. So now the next question will be asked. So again, questions of 1 dot ask question, and again go to ask question. Again print the question, print first option, second option, third option, fourth option, print please choose an option. And now let's say user selects the correct option, right? User selects the correct option. Then now this if will get executed. Fine, answer is correct. I'll come inside, I'll return true. And now this function is returning true, not false, returning true. And now it will again go to game. And now this function is returning true. So the value of status will be true. And hence the value of status is true. Since the value of status is true, this will be executed. And now it will print, बहुत ही उम्दा खेले हैं आप, and it will just increment the score. And once again, based on true or false, the score will be incremented. And at the very end, after the loop is executed, after all questions have been asked, it will just print player.name, whatever the name is, your score is, whatever the score is. Yes, AK, you can do it, but I'll not suggest doing that. Are we cleared, everyone? Are we cleared? Thank you, Priya. Are we cleared with this? The whole application? How we saw it, right? We saw it yesterday how to increment anything by any number, right? So plus is only for incrementing by 1, but if you want to increment by 5, you can just do this. So player.score, whatever the existing player score is, plus 5. So now this will increment the player score by 5. Yes, there can be multiplayer, Amit. There can be multiplayer. Why not? Why not? Are we clear with this? We just have to put some more conditions if we are having multiplayer. But right now we are not doing that. Yes, last lecture's code was shared, Nazir. Last lecture I shared the code. Now I'll also share this code. Don't worry. Yes, I'll show you. I'm going to do it. Yes, Amit, you're going to learn it in advanced Java. This is only the core Java part. So I think we're not going to cover GUI in this. We're just going to cover all the concepts of Java. Yes, we're going to use it. Okay, Akash, I'll say it at the end. Don't worry. Fine. I have planned creating a teen patti game for the next game and for the next project at the end. Okay, let's see if we can make it. But for that, you have to understand a lot of things. Yes. Now it's simple, right? If you want negative marks, do the same thing inside else. Right? Message, and instead of +5, just put -5. That's all. Negative marking. Arjun, I'll see if we get time, I'm definitely gonna show you a little bit of GUI. Don't worry, Amit, I'm gonna put a game and a very important project again as a poll for the next project, and you can just vote. Amit, don't worry. Thank you, Shitaja. Thank you, Shitaja. Amit, don't worry. I'm gonna create something really good. Don't worry. OOP concept? Yeah, this is all OOP concept, right, Amit? What are you asking? Fine. So let's do one more thing now. So as right now, I have wrote a lot of lines of code. Thank you, Velan. Thank you so much. Now, as you know, I just have wrote a lot of lines of code to fill the values for questions and options. So as I said at this very start, my data might be coming from some internet, some kind of resource. So let's do one thing. Let's make our own resource. Let's make an array of questions and options. But I think right now this is totally fine. Should I do it? Create an array for questions and for options. I think this is a fine approach right now. Yes, Komal, you can ask. Do it? Okay, fine, let's do it. Okay, fine, let's complete it first. Actually, this is a fine approach because in future you'll be directly getting objects from the database. So you'll be having a converter. So the data will be directly converted to objects and you'll get it like this only. Right now what I'll do, I'll basically create arrays for questions, for options. Right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically create arrays for questions and for options. And then instead of writing it like this, I'm just going to, you can say, use arrays to fill up the questions. Same thing. Which pattern? Are you talking about that star pattern printing? Sai Prasad, you cannot put HTML in this right now. You have to create your HTML separately, and then you have to see how you can embed this program with the HTML. So if you're thinking of creating a client-side application, then you can't use Java. You have to use that JavaScript. But if you're thinking of a backend application, then you can definitely put this logic there. So basically, you have to move this normal Java code to a Java web application. Jairaj, you have to move this base, and that's what I'm going to teach in the advanced Java course. What is the use of two functions? Okay, Komal Sharma, inside get details, you have to take the input from user about the name, power, planet, and inside the display details, you just have to show all the variables. That's all. Mansi, I didn't plan those because those are very basics. Printing star patterns and all, but let's see if we get time, we'll definitely gonna use half an hour to print some very basic patterns. Don't worry. Yes, I have planned about nested loops. Don't worry. When I'll keep sorting, I'm definitely gonna use nested loops Summit. Don't worry. Okay, I have to check why are people not receiving mails. Amit, we can't do it today because we are already running short of time. We have one more thing to get explained about returning functions because some of you have not returned. Today's assignment will be the whole quiz application. Yes, I think I will teach the advanced Java. Yes. Jaraj, you can use only one class, but I'll not suggest you to use that. Yes, Humsini. Yes, Hamsini maybe. Ramesh Babu, you can ask. I have to check the topics, Suryansh. I have to check the topics. I have to check. For loops for options, please. Okay, you want that? Let's do it. So now what you have to do is, now see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create a string, basically an array for questions. So a string array for, let's say, questions data, right? Now what I can do here is I can just check all these questions from here and put it right there like this. So this is array initialization. I'm not creating array and putting the value from somewhere else. I'm directly putting the values inside the array. The second question. Please see everyone. That's very simple that I'm doing. And the third question. Don't worry, I'm doing something. Let's see what I'm doing actually. I'm just converting this whole lot of code into an array-based code. So now I have an array. Let's say this data is coming from database. Let's say this data is coming from database. So I have an array, questions data, which has three values. On the zero index, it is the first question. On the first index, it is the second question, and the third index, Anil, it totally depends, right? If you want to learn like only web development, and if it is a requirement for you to take a job in JavaScript based things, you can go for MUN, obviously. But if you are going for some kind of Java related job, and if you also want to like perform some kind of backend task and everything, you can go for Java. But you're only looking for complete full stack web development with backend and front end, you can go for MUN. So it totally depends on your requirement and what you want to do in future, what you want to work with. Yes, I'm going to take both courses. I think I have to check, Amit. I'll tell you tomorrow. Don't worry, I'll tell you tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, Jairaj. Right now, it is already been reduced. Right now, it is already very small. It has already been reduced because we have already made it very compact. We have only written code for the things that we require. So again, I also need a string array for option one. This is options one actually. So all the first options will be here, related in a sequence. Nightbot, I think it's just a server, this chat server bot that randomly puts some message related to whatever you are doing in chat. Are you getting my point? This is a really tricky task now, like to do it now again. The first option for all the questions that I had. So these are all the first options. But as I suggest, just you can just Pushpa, what is the question? What is the deadline of submitting the assignments? Right when we upload the video on how to submit assignments, from them you can just start submitting it. Yes, Lambodar. Yes, if people know SQL, I'm definitely going to teach JDBC in this course. I can't teach SQL right now, but if you people know SQL, I'm definitely going to teach you how to connect to JDBC. So I will also have options 2, options 3, options 4, and all the correct answers, right? Please see everyone. These are all the second options, these are all the third options, these are all the fourth options. Oh, second options, third options, fourth options, and all the answers. Amit Kumar, I think we are working with OOPS, right? This is what OOPS means, object-oriented programming, right? You're talking about abstraction. We're just going to do one by one. Don't worry, don't worry. The next lecture is basically of inheritance and learning about constructors. So the tomorrow session will be only concept of inheritance, concept of constructors. Tomorrow we have a lot of things to learn. So this was the first phase that we completed in Java today. This was the first phase that we completed in Java today. Let's put anything now. All the first options. Please see everyone. I think you're saying I don't ignore this. Sangeet, as I told you yesterday, it totally depends on practice, man. You can just start practicing it. Yes, I'm going to teach about try catch. All the basic concepts will be covered. Don't worry. All the OOPS concept will be covered. Please focus here. I think you're watching it. Please, everyone, focus here. And finally, after Melbourne, correct option. See, Sangeet, someone asked me to like perform the base, the down, like the things that I did in the like below function, performing them with loops. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just creating a data set. Komal, what is your doubt? I didn't see. Yes, I'll cover multi-threading, don't worry. I'm showing, don't worry. And at the very end, these are all the answers. And this is basically an integer. So integer 2, and then the second answer is Mercury, and the third answer is fourth option. Fine. And now see what you can do now. Instead of writing it like this, I'll just comment it so that you have this available for you also. I'll just comment it. I'll not delete this. And now what I can do here is I can just go on and write for integer I equals 0, I is less than, please see everyone. Yes, I'm just removing all the code, the long code that I did, and now I'm doing everything with the loop. Simple. It's not complex, Amit. It's not complex. It's just another way of doing it. Komal, wait, Komal, just wait. I'll just complete this. Because someone asked me like doing this. So I'm just completing this. Someone is having doubt, how can we do like this? So it's just simple, don't worry. Now we can just copy this first way of doing it. So basically now what we are completing here is we don't have to do it 3 times. We can just do it like this. So instead of, I can just write I here. And now inside the question, see please everyone, I can just put questions data of I. Options 1, first option. Options 2, first option. Options 3, first option. And options 4, and finally at the place of answers we can just write answers of I, and that's all. I think someone was asking me like this to do it like this. Please see. So now what I did, I just created 5 arrays for my data. The first array hold, please everyone, just focus here once. I'm giving the assignment, don't worry, I'm giving it, don't worry. Please just focus here first. Please everyone, just focus here. I did it in another way, just check it out once. Gerard, I think you're the one asking this doubt. Now it's short, now it's just short. Now it's like question data is an array which has the 3 questions. Options 1 has the first options for all the questions. Options 2 has the second option for all the questions. Option 3 has the third option for all the questions. Options 4 has the fourth option for all the questions. And answers has all the answers for all the particular questions. And now inside a single loop, everything will just go around, and that's it. So it's totally up to you. Whoever likes this way, you can just do it like this. If you like the previous way, you can just do it like that. Not a problem at all. I think few people were there who were asking about this thing. So this is how you do it. And whoever thinks the previous one was better, you can just do it like that. Not a problem at all. Amit Kumar, I have to check how many total sessions I have to take. Don't worry, but I'm going to definitely complete all the basics. So don't worry about it. So today's assignment Don't worry, I'm gonna tell about the topics in the previous session only. So as I said, tomorrow I'm gonna teach you inheritance and constructor concepts. So I'll tell you what are the things that I'm gonna teach in the next session. So don't worry, and I'm also trying to cover all the basic things in Java. So I'll also teach exception handling. Don't worry. I'll also tell you what is polymorphism and what is abstraction and encapsulation. So all the concepts will be covered. Don't worry. Yeah, it looks much better because it is small. It is short. That's all. It looks like some professional coding. Yes, I'm going to share this code. Don't worry, I'm going to share this code. And remember, everyone, I'll post the assignment questions on the community so that everyone can get it. So you can just, yes, I'll run it. Don't worry, I'll run it. Just give me a second. I'm not saying the questions here so that you just get like confused by listening to it. I'm going to post today's questions on the community. So you can just go to my profile. You can see the question there. I hope everyone listened it. I'll just post the question on the community so that everyone gets it properly. You can just go on there and see the question. In the next 1 hour, it will be available. Karthik, do you, please follow the second or third session. At that place, I have shown you how to execute Java code without IntelliJ. Okay, Komal, what was your doubt? Please ask related to the first question. Please join the Java group, everyone. Please join the Java group on community so that you can get all the mails related to it. So all these files of today and the assignment will be uploaded. Do we have any doubts coming now? Just to make it smaller, right? So like, as you can see, we wrote it 3 times. As you can see, we wrote it 3 times. So now what I did, I just use a loop, and the loop will execute 3 times and will just apply all the values. What is the difference? Like both are different languages, right, Jay Prakash? We use loop just to like make the code a little small and a little more readable. I swallow come. This is what we did. So we wrote it 3 times previously, but now we just wrote it 1 time because we are using a loop. Question 1 was very simple, Komal. If you just go and watch previous video, what I did, I created an employee class which had 2 variables, name and age. So there was a function get details, which was taking input for name and age, and there was one function display details, which was just showing the like displaying the values. Same, you have to create an Avenger class which has variables like name, age, planet, and a get details function which will take all the values from user, and the print details function which is just print the details. That's all you have to do in that in that assignment. So if you watch previous video, you can just see it what I did. Komal, just go and please watch previous video. There I used employee and name and age as the property. Here you just one change. You have to use Avenger class and name, age, planet are the properties, and the functions are totally same. Yes, Sangeet, you have to practice a lot. Jagdish, yes, your chat is visible. Yes, I'll write a post, Mohammed. Don't worry, I'll write a post. Komal, is your doubt clear? Please just go and watch. Please just go and watch the previous video, Komal. You will, I think your doubt will be cleared there. It's totally same. You just have to change. Like I used employee, you have to use Avengers. I used name and age, you have to use name, age, planet, and weapon. It's totally same, Komal. I uploaded Pallavi, I uploaded it. Please join the Java group so that you can get all the mails related to it, and even on the community you'll get all the files. Okay, I'll just run it once. Yeah, I didn't run it. Let's just run it once. Let's see if it is still working. For chatbot, we require database and a server, Jay Prakash. So now it is running. Let's enter. Saurabh. Again, same. The first question. So I'll just do every questions correct. 3. And again, your score is 15. Simple. Other keyword for this? What kind of keyword are you asking, man? What is other keyword? Modhu, what is your confusion? We'll see, Amit, we'll see. Don't worry, we'll see. I'll see some great assignment for you. Don't worry. Don't worry, Amit. Thank you so much, Komal. Thank you so much. Just keep attending. You'll learn a lot again. Don't worry, Komal. Just keep attending this. Yes, Jairaj, we are going to use a lot of keywords. Don't worry. We have sessions left. Don't worry. Okay, Siddhi, don't worry. I'll decide a good assignment for you. Don't worry. Let's see. Yes, the session is over for today. Yes, Nitika, the session is over for today. Modhu, can you please tell me where are you getting confused? And it's totally fine to get confused. It's totally fine to get confused because you're learning it for the first time and it is a lot to take in. You just have to go step by step. Read the code. Maybe you understood only 20% on the first time. At the second time, you'll understand 40. This is how it goes. I have did it 100 times. That's why I'm doing it so precisely. Simple. Akshara, that's what we can do tomorrow. I'll show you in the first 15 minutes. It's not Modhu, it's Modhu, Amit. I said Modhu. What if the player quits? Just the game stops, that's all. Yes, Mohammed, you're right. Hi, Jitendra. Do we have any doubts coming, everyone? Yes, you can leave. Hope you enjoyed the session, everyone. I hope you people enjoyed. I hope people learned something new. Tomorrow I'm going to explain the return function and constructors and inheritance. So we have 3 things for tomorrow. It will be simple, Sangeet. It will take a little time, but it will be simple. Amit, definitely it will be posted on the community, Amit. In some time, even I don't know it right now, in some time it will be posted. Sangeet, it will just take a little time, don't worry. Yes, just please submit again, Sachi, that's totally fine. Yes, you just have to create the quiz application. That's all. Take the reference, but just create it on your own. Yes, Komal, I am on LinkedIn. Akshara, I don't understand what having random questions for you. You can have random questions, then you have to create a database of questions, like data set like 15 to 20 questions, and then you can always pick some random questions from there. You can do it. That is the enhancement of this project. So let's say we have 15 questions set, and then we can just pick any 5 from there. Nothing will happen, Mansi. Right now, the game will just end. The execution will just end. Like there is a lot to cover yet. So for all the people, this is mostly good, but let's see what we can improve in future. We'll definitely want to enhance these kind of projects, and we'll definitely want to build something very big, better than this. So don't worry. Yes, Jairaj, everyone is good in my perspective. Don't worry. Sangeet, it's fine. You have to practice code on your own, and when you are stuck somewhere, you have to ask or use internet. But whatever is better for you. But the first thing that you have to do is start practicing. Take some topic and start practicing. I think on my community, I have linked my LinkedIn account. You can just get it from there, Pallavi. On the community, I have linked it. If you just go on the community, see my profile, there I have linked my LinkedIn account. You can just check it. Sahil, you have just go and watch the third session. Your doubt will be cleared, Sahil. How to use next lines properly. I think that is the problem. The input is being skipping there. Thank you, Varen. Thank you for joining in. Yes, it is important to use packages because it provides good names. I'm not teaching anything new. Akash, don't worry. I'm not teaching anything new. Sachi, please go and watch the third session. There your doubt will be cleared. Okay, Sachi, your questions. Yes, it is very important to use packages because it provides a namespace. Yes, linked list will be covered in advanced Java. Today's assignment is this complete quiz application on your own. Like reference the code, but just don't copy and paste it, please. Just don't copy and paste it. Yes, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
So can we end today's session?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.